Promo. What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
In the House of Craze tonight, we have Drew, Paulo, Dan, the crew. They're doing a crossover, Halloween Man and the Latex Avenger, and we're going to be talking about that coming up next. Plus, we have a Get Your Meds coming up. Stay tuned.
Remember the crossover with EPMD?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dope. It was
Whatever you want.
Let's do this.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your meds, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to the Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera, and I am with
George, the Dreamer, Medina. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's June the 24th. It is Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. I think so.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
It is now.
Sounds like a fun. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We have a
Welcome,
very
yeah.
exciting show for you tonight. We're going to be talking to three. I believe
Trace.
three. Yeah, we're going
Yes.
to do three.
Not
creators
one, not
tonight.
two, but three.
Dan Price. We have Mr. Edwards. We have Paulo. I mean, we're going to be doing some things tonight. It's the a little crossover event they have planned, Halloween Man and the Latex Avenger. And that's going to believe it's coming to Kickstarter at the end of either the end of this month or next month. We're going to talk to them. We're going to get to the bottom of this.
Revenge or something.
Yeah, something like that.
No,
so we're gonna be talking to indies tonight. And if that's something that you guys are into, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, comment, hit that bell so that you know when we are going live.
Ding-a-ling.
Yes. But what's going on, Sammy? How you feeling, my brother? It is the 24th. So
it's the 24th. So yeah, we're winding down on the campaign. We're heading towards the last week of the campaign. Right. And I would love to know exactly how we're doing. So I know we were funded, and I don't know where we are at this point, but it's fantastic to try to predict where we're going to end up. Did we get to 50 backers? Did we get to 100 backers? Did I give up free stuff? I offered a lot of free stuff. Nobody wants free stuff anymore, So if you want to pay for it, pay for it. You know what? Right, I'll take your money, but I got some stuff. I've just got some stuff. But yeah. So we're at the final stretch, the home stretch of the campaign. I'm back from the Fan Expo. I wish I could tell you how that went. So that's a lot for me to want to predict. But So because this is in the past, and
Yeah, you know how we do. It's just what we do. It's what we do.
Yeah. But in a week from now, July, the first week of July, I'll be launching the Nearly My Toilet on Indiegogo. So if you're not a Kickstarter fan and you want to support the campaign, head over to Indiegogo, and you can support. There's an alien in my toilet there. The difference between the Kickstarter and the Indiegogo is that the Indiegogo is going to be tailored specifically 6 levels, 6 tiers, and really just focusing on issues 1 and 2 and all of the duty paraphernalia that comes along with it. So, and that'll be about a couple of weeks. It won't be longer than that because I want to be able to close out that campaign and ship everything for Kickstarter and Indiegogo simultaneously. So I'm hoping that we get funded on that. It's only a $500 go on Indiegogo, but it's really about moving units. So I'm just trying to get a lot of people to get the book in their hands. And yeah, so again, if you haven't supported the Kickstarter, you don't know what we're talking about. There's an alien in my toilet. It's on Kickstarter right now. You still have a chance uh, to support it. And so please do so. I would truly, truly appreciate your support.
Yes, indeed.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, you got a lot going on. A lot that happened, I guess, in the last I guess month,
word.
since the last campaign. You have the new campaign. You went to a big show in the beginning at the end of last month. It's been just crazy. Whirlwind.
It's a
But yeah,
whirlwind. I'm
yeah,
exhausted. I'm exhausted.
I know, but please make sure everyone that if you haven't done so yet, you pledge to the campaign. There's only a few, what is it, one more week? It's a week left, or a
One
few
more week.
days, or a few days left, right?
It's a few more days. So yeah, so this is Friday. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 days.
Four days,
Yeah,
four
because it
days.
ends. No, yeah. Is
It
it
ends
Friday the
January,
20?
it ends
You
June
said
29th, no,
you said
something like that.
yeah, yeah. So it ends, yeah, the 30th.
The 30th. So yeah, just a
Oh, you
few
got
days.
yeah, yeah, you got a few
Yes,
days.
just
So
a few days left. Few days. So make
and
sure you get
for
there.
you podcasters or indie creators, you want to promote your stuff. Look, we got a 75% discount deal on the podcast. I mean, on the Kickstarter. So for $35, you're going to get 4 weeks of ads on Cast the Craze podcast with your link posted on all our social feeds saying that you're the official sponsor of those 4 episodes for that month. And that's a savings of $115 because that monthly package is $150. But if you get this bundle on Kickstarter, you'll get a copy of issue 2 with the trading cards plus that. So it's a steal. It's Remington steel. So we got a couple an indie creator and a podcaster both secure the bundle. So you want to go and get that bundle. Don't kick yourself because when you come back, you say, "Yo, can I get 4 weeks?" It's a $150. So here's a
Okay.
big discount. Won't ever happen again. It's a one-time deal on Kickstarter. Again, we're trending on 100,000 views on the YouTube channel. So there are eyes on the prize. So great way to promote yourself.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's awesome stuff. Yeah, we got a few things going on. I think it's June 24th. So let me do some predictions myself. I should have already sent everything out to get printed for the Adventures of Wonder Duck, and I should be waiting for them to come back. Hopefully, some of that stuff is already back, and I've been able to send some stuff out because remember, we record in the past for the future in the present. So, woo, yeah, no, we got a lot going on, my
Yeah.
brother. But yeah, the end of next month, I'll be at Terrificon. Are you doing anything? In I guess no, Indiegogo, bro.
Indiegogo, I'll be running on July.
Yeah.
What I've been doing is I've been going online daily drawing.
Right.
This is one of the pieces I did today. It's Cowboy Duty. Wes.
And by the time this airs, he would have had more pieces done.
Yeah, yeah. It just takes me about an hour from
Yeah.
start to finish, from pencil to ink to colors, digitally.
Right.
And so building an audience on that, so it's pretty cool. Thank you, everybody who keeps. And every time there's new people, and so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And people are digging the look of the character.
Yeah.
It's funny. My wife is so funny. She says every time I show her a new piece, she goes, "That's my favorite."
That's
You said
awesome.
that about the last one.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, nah, man. Duty. Make
Yeah.
sure you guys, hey, listen, if you guys are anti Kickstarter, you're like, yo, man, I don't really mess with Kickstarter like that. I wish, listen, if he had taken that over to Indiegogo, he's got my money. Well, guess what, guys?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to Indiegogo. There you go. He's on his way.
Yes.
At
he's
the
very
end of this campaign, when it ends on Kickstarter on the 29th, Duty will be going to Indiegogo. So if you are
Yeah.
Indiegogo fans, if you guys prefer that platform over Kickstarter, then make sure you follow the page right now because
Yes,
we do have a
I
link to
just
it right.
realized that for the Indiegogo, I'd have to launch it that following Monday. No, I can't. It's 4th of July weekend.
Mm.
That's no bueno. I'm gonna have to launch it on the 5th. The 5th.
The 5th.
'Cause I can't launch it on a Friday. No one's gonna pay attention on a Friday. So I'm gonna have to launch it on Tuesday the 5th. So the Indiegogo will launch Tuesday the 5th.
Tuesday the 5th. It will
Yeah.
go to Indiegogo, July 5th. So make sure that you head on there if you are, if you prefer that platform over the other. The
Word.
options are there. So make sure you get there. Sign up now for that campaign. And as soon as it goes live, drop some coins in there.
Yeah.
Tell your friends, share it
Some
around.
cheddar.
Drop some cheddar. Remember, Sam's going to be doing some more appearances. I think you have one in August, right?
August. It's a kids event. It's
August.
I'm actually looking forward to that. Had some good feedback and communications with the promoter. So I think that one's going to be really, really successful. You know, the fan expo, when you do a big event, it's hard to tell and gauge whether or not you'll be successful, considering how many celebrities are going to be there and the big companies. So I don't know what to expect with fan expo, but with the kids event, that's usually my arena. And that's where Duty really, really just stands tall.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
If you guys watched the shows over the week, whether it's Tuesday, Wednesday, or even Thursday morning, you will know what happened at that event. So make sure you subscribe to the channel
Word.
and check that out. If you missed it, it's on there now. So check those episodes out. Don't miss out. Again, The Adventures of Wonder Duck. You guys will be getting your stuff out there soon. Thank you so much. 137 of you guys came through.
Word.
And so now, it's a matter of just sending things out. The PDFs have been sent out, obviously, to everybody who pledged. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the book. Once you receive it, make sure you take some photos with it. Tag me. I'll repost it on my social media. If you don't follow me already, go to Instagram at get_your_meds, or go to Twitter, get your meds, or Facebook, or go to my website, getyourmeds.com.
Word.
But yeah, Sam. So we're talking about characters, man. We're talking about characters. You have Duty. I've been working on a few. I mean, and you've worked on a few. But the question becomes the next topic for today. Why don't we talk a little bit about that? Oh, you good?
Yeah. So I think it's time to get my meds.
Yeah.
It's time for your medicine.
Single focused, or the more, the butter.
The butter.
The butter. I can't believe it's not butter.
I can't believe it. So yeah, single focus, or the more the better. Now listen, don't get it confused. We're not talking about dating. We're talking about
don't. George, until now, George wasn't single focused.
We are talking about characters, right?
Word.
Now, so Sam, we've been going back and forth. Last month, I've been watching documentaries. Put me onto some documentaries about Mr. Charles Schultz, Mr. Jim Davis, and they had something in common. Those two, right? Not only were they comic strip artists, very famous. They produced some of the most iconic characters we have today in Peanuts. Snoopy, Charlie Brown, and Garfield, obviously. But they also were what we are calling right now single-focused artists, right? Now, what is the way to go, bro? Single focus, or the more the better? The more characters you have out there, the better the chances there are for you to maybe make one land. What do you think, Sam? What's your outlook on this?
I have a two-step process.
Two steps.
So I think if you're an independent publisher and you're trying to build your publishing empire, then diversity is necessary in order to build that empire, because you want a large portfolio and whatever it is. And I'm assuming you have a creative team. If you are focused, if you're just a sole creator, your chances of success are greater when you focus on one thing start to finish and push it. So if you're looking, like for instance, if you want to be identified in the market for a specific character or brand, then that should be your singular focus. And you should build on that, whether it's if you plan it on a mini series or an ongoing series, whatever it is, you need to make that your focus from start to finish, and until you completed until you've achieved your objective. I think what happens is I think there's this false sense of where creators, they want to be able to get all of their ideas out there, but nothing's ever fully accomplished because they have a lot of unfinished projects. I got this comic book about this X, Y, and Z, but I've only done 2 issues. It was slated for 10 issues. but because I started working on this comic, which is Elemental P, and I got 3 issues, and that was slated for 20 issues. And I got this comic, so you got a lot of half-finished projects, and so you're never going to be known for anything other than someone who's never finished anything, who is spread thin. So I think if you really want to be successful, if you're trying to get your brand out there, whether it's a character, whatever it is, that should be your singular focus. And that was my lesson learned when I was at the expo, right? So one of the things I learned from just conversations and all the meetings that I had was that the talk was all about one specific brand, one specific character in my portfolio, and all the questions were around that. And then I realized leading up to that I had all these other projects, right? Although Forbidden is done and all the children's books are completed and all that stuff, I was spreading myself thin. And so then what I walked away realizing was I need to be known for one thing, and I made the decision to make There's an Alien in My Toilet duty my main focus for the foreseeable future. If I really want to break into the industry and be known for something other than just a comic artist or a comic writer, I want to be known as a creator of a world like Charles Schultz did with Peanuts or Jim Davis did with Garfield. Um, I think that's the key. So you have to make a decision. Do you want to be a career artist? You want to be a career writer, or do you want to be someone who's known for an IP that you've seen from start to finish? Whether it becomes a success, at least you can hang your hat high, saying I finished this, and I saw it through, and I did everything within my means to try to make it as appealing, commercially appealing as possible. But if you don't do that, you're always going to be looking at the rearview mirror, saying, "What if?"
Yeah, I think, and I'll add to that. I think from a writer's point of view, right? And I agree with you in saying the indies. If you're an indie publisher or whatever, and you have a couple of titles and you're trying to sell a couple of titles, I always, my default's always to each his own, right? Whatever you want to do. I think the guys that we mentioned, for example, and I'll add. Listen, I'll add. You want to get more contemporary or whatever. And when I say contemporary, like the '90s, when you talk about Todd McFarlane and maybe even Eric Larson, for example, right? Those are guys who picked one character and they rode that wave. Spawn, Savage Dragon. They just rode that. That's them. That was them. But I think what they also have in common with Schultz and Davis is that they were artists. Yeah. So they had all of the control of their property. Right. They can draw it whenever they want it. They can draw it in whatever pose they wanted. They can draw it as many times as they wanted. They had complete control. From a writer's standpoint, there's less control, not in the story, but in how much you put out there, because you have to hire an artist. You have to pay that artist. You have to make sure that you have the money to keep putting out that product or keep putting out. And so you have less, you have more. I don't want to say you have more to lose, because you have the same line to lose. It's just the money.
More at the mercy of your financial status.
Yeah, exactly. If the money runs out, right, that character, you're gonna, okay, that one didn't sell. Let me try something else. Because when you watch like some of these documentaries, and even when we were talking about that thing that we watched on Davis, he started out with a bug. He said, "Let me try a bug. Let me see if that works." Didn't work. The last comic strip he did was the bug getting squashed, signifying the end of it. And he said, "All right, let me try something else. Let me see what else works." So he did kind of try to navigate through, and see, okay, what actually works. And Garfield happened to hit. Sometimes it just hits. I think we've done it. You have a couple of properties out there that you're saying, okay, I'm going to focus on this one. But there's a chance, and you don't know, that maybe Gorf is the one that like there are things you still kind of navigating through it. Right now, the focus is duty. And I think that's a smart idea, because you are the artist. You can sit down and you can have these live draws and say, okay, I'm focusing on this. This is what I'm driving, and this is what I'm doing. And that's it. This is what you're getting. You draw it, you do everything. You know what I mean? When you're a writer, you're, like you said, you're at the mercy of that financial mercy, because you're not drawing it. Right. You can write a million stories, but unless you have the financial, ability to pay that artist to draw it, you're kind of stuck.
Right, which is the Kirkman approach, right? So Robert Kirkman, Invincible, The Walking Dead, right? So he was able to control the destiny and have the budget to be able to fund the project, right? Each project. So he was a writer on those two things.
But he had other projects before that that didn't really hit, but he
Right,
still published them.
right.
You know what I
Until
mean?
he found same
He
thing
found,
with
right? He
Schultz
found.
and Jim Davis. I think that's what everybody has. I think anybody who's starting out, it's always going to have those those broken eggs, right? You think that this might be a winner, next it tanks. He's like, oh damn, what else can I do? What else can
Yeah,
I do?
yeah,
Until you find that works. You find that magic, and when you find that magic bullet, you need to make sure you polish that bullet. You make sure you focus on, make sure you clean the gun. All those things. You want to make sure that you're making that your 100% focus.
yeah.
If you want that to be your identity in the game, if you want to make that
Right,
if for any brand to be successful, the commitment and drive on the person steering the ship, the creator, has to be on a whole nother level. It has to be almost selfish in your approach because it requires a lot of sacrifice and commitment. So those are the decisions that everyone has to make. And sometimes it's not easy decisions. Sometimes there are things that you can't control. That today you can say, I'm going to give it 100%, and then you start going, then something tragic happens and takes you off your game, right? So you don't know. So control what you can, give it 100% when you're in the cockpit until you're removed from the cockpit for whatever reason. But I think I'd rather. The reason why I came back after a 10-year hiatus is because I wanted to finish what I started,
yeah,
right? And then one of the biggest educations for these past couple of years, trial and error. I was throwing things on the wall, see what's going to stick, and what I got was a confirmation of that I have something, and I came back to finish it. Why
right.
have I not made that my focus? And that was my awakening. And I was like, all right, so this is what I need to do and make it, and just go all in.
Yeah, I mean, I think that for you specifically, and obviously for those who have followed us and who watch the show, you know that Sam had a book called Forbidden, and that we had a book called the Catch the Crazies. But the difference between those two books, other than the genres, obviously, and other than the demographic, is that again it goes down to you wrote Forbidden. We co-wrote the Crazies, but you didn't draw Forbidden. You didn't draw the Crazies. There was less full control like you have of Duty. You write and you draw Duty. There's nobody writing Duty,
Mhm.
only you. And there's no script, right? It's very unorthodox the
Right.
way it's almost done like a comic strip. You're almost taking the comic strip route of like the
Right.
Davis and the Schultz, where like I'm gonna sit down with a piece of paper, or in your case with a Wacom tablet, and I'm gonna wait. And I found something that's funny. I found something that I want to do with Duty. I'm gonna put it down and I'm gonna get it done. And that's how the pages are coming along. It's a whole different way of doing, I guess, comics in the way that you don't have a script. But I think again it goes down to that control. It goes down to that artistic
Yeah,
control. You are the
because
artist.
I'm not at the mercy of somebody, dragging their feet or,
No,
not being
no.
in the mood, or they went on vacation, or, they had a fight with the girlfriend, so, the project's gonna be late. And so I'm in full control.
Correct.
And I equate it to almost like, when they talk about Jay-Z, he goes into the booth, he hears the music and he starts freestyling, and that becomes a song. That's how Duty's created. Basically, I'm drawing it and then the dialogue comes, it's freestyled. Um, but and because I have the control, I'm having more fun because I'm not waiting for somebody. And I think that's the difference. And because I'm having fun, it's showing in the character design, it's showing in the artwork, it's showing in my skill that gets better every day. And one of the best thing I did for myself is draw every single day. Because I realize I'm getting better every day,
Yeah.
and I'm learning new techniques every day. And that's the key, right? You want to get better. When I looked at my old stuff versus the new stuff, is like, oh, I got to redraw this, so I got to redo this, because
Yeah.
it doesn't look anything like what I draw now.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Um,
we I think we had a topic about that, about remastering and should you
right,
go back and revisit stuff. And I've always been a proponent of it. I think you should. I think if you've drawn something and it's been a long time and you're bringing it out again, unless you're doing brand new things, I think why not? Why not go back and fix some of the stuff if you haven't printed it out? Why not? Why not go in there and put your best foot forward? But I will also say, and there are writers who may say, nah, man, I have something and I want to stick with it. That again, to each his own. If that's what you want to roll with, if you want to do that, go for it by all means. I think there are pros and cons to both, right? If you're single focused and that's all you want to do it and give it all and put it out there. If you think that there's strength in numbers and you want to put out more than one thing to see what people are going to gravitate to, what they're going to grab, then go for, do it that way. I think what matters is that you do it and commit it and stay committed to it.
Come on, let's do it.
Yeah, and commit to either one, whether you're going to be single focused or whether you're going to do a bunch of things. Commit and finish.
Go all in. No excuses. Don't blame the weather. Don't blame the postal service. Go all in. Give it 100%. I think that's the key to anything. It's you have to go. What works for me is I write down the list of what I'm willing to do and what I'm not willing to do. Right. And if my not willing to do goes beyond one thing, then it's the wrong thing for me. I have to be able to be willing to do everything in my power to be able to make it work. And so again, you got to figure out what's going to work for you. But what I would recommend if you're looking to build your IP, if you're struggling with making the decision to move forward, go see the documentaries on Jim Davis and Charles Schultz. Really, really powerful documentaries, good insight into their psyche. Their lives weren't perfect, especially Charles Schultz. He was a loner. But you'll learn. You'll start asking yourself about your questions about yourself and start doing some soul searching and really understand what your next move should be at the end of those documentaries. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's I was watching that, dude. I was like, damn. Good thing he created Peanuts, because otherwise,
he got lost in his world because that's where was his safe zone. That's where he couldn't get hurt. And I think that was interesting. So again, if you have comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you'd like us to elaborate on this or continue it on to the morning brew with the crazy crew, let us know. We'll be more than happy to do so. If you like this episode so far, give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, give us a rating and then head over to YouTube and subscribe, because when we grow, the indie community grows and we want to make sure that we keep it going. So that was the topic of the day. That was get your meds. And we're going to cut to commercial. When we come back, we're going to bring the squad in to talk about the crossover. So let's see. Why should you subscribe to Catch the Craze? Well, let the indie community tell you that.
It's Monty Moore. I'm a 30-year comics veteran in comics, games, and movies, and you've been watching one of my absolute favorite podcasts, Catch the Craze.
You are watching Catch the Craze.
What am I listening to?
And you're listening to Catch the Craze.
Where are all the indies at?
A Catch the Craze podcast. What are you watching?
I'm watching Catch the Craze.
What are you going to do?
Subscribe now to Catch the Craze, the #1 show online for independent.
Have you subscribed to?
You are an independent. Catch the craze. Making moves on your own. Catch the craze. On your grind in the streets. Catch the craze. Join the movement. Catch the craze.
Welcome.
Full house. I love it. Freaking love it. Who's Uncle Joey? This is amazing, man. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate you.
Howdy. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, listen, there's 3 of you on the show. I'm going to give you guys each, just tell us quickly who you are, and just introduce yourselves to the audience. We'll start with Dan. Let's start with Dan. What's up, Dan? Talk to us.
What's up, George? What's going on, Sam? How y'all doing?
Good, man.
Good. My name is Dan Price. I am the creator of a few indie titles, including Latex Avenger and Bigfoot Knows Karate. I am on this particular project. I am the co-writer with Drew Edwards on this book, the Latex Halloween Man Meets Latex Avenger, which is absolutely chock full of ridiculous, and we can't wait for you guys to read this. So thanks for having us on tonight.
No problem. All right, Drew,
talk to us.
So my name is Drew Edwards. I am the award-winning writer of Halloween Man, the long-running independent comic currently published by Comixology, and its related spin-offs, including Lucy Chaplin's Science Starlet. I am a Ringo Award nominee for Best Writer, Best of Austin winner, and nominee for the last 4 years. And I think that about does it for me. But I did want to say your theme song slaps. That thing is catchy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Paulo, talk to us.
Yeah, I'm just an Austin-based illustrator. I've done pages for different comics, different indie comics like Guano Guy and Halloween Man. And I've right now I'm the artist here on the crossover.
That's awesome.
And that's about it for me.
All right. Yeah. So this crossover, man. Like, so what brought about the crossover? Like, whose idea was it to do these two characters as crossovers? Where did it come from?
Who got caught wearing latex?
So back before the pandemic, I think about 5 years ago. That sound right to you, Dan?
When we first started talking about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. 6 years ago, because I wasn't even in this house.
6. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was back when I still had a day job, and I ran into Dan while working at HEB, which is a grocery store chain here in Austin, well, throughout Texas, really. And I had mentioned to him, because I had known Dan for years there, that it would be fun to do a crossover with our two characters. And, he seemed amicable to the idea, but I don't think he knew how serious I was about it until I started emailing him ideas of what it was going to be about. And, through those different emails, we started actually, working on a script and everything. And actually Dan initially was going to draw it as well. But his focus, and rightfully so, switched over to Bigfoot Knows Karate after a while. But, it was, I just like absurdity, and Latex Avenger is nothing if not absurd. And I think the charm of this story is seeing the Latex Avenger characters interact with these characters that are just a notch more serious than the Latex Avengers are. So there's a lot of kind of fish out of water humor in this.
I like it. And Paulo, how did you become involved?
One day Drew came up to me and asked me, hey, I was thinking about this, I was thinking about doing a crossover with Latex Avenger, and I was like, that sounds awesome. That sounds like it's going to be hilarious. And he's like, well, I want you to draw it. And I was like, what? So I was like, oh, that's awesome. Cause I remember reading Latex Avenger and loving it. And Drew, I've been reading the Halloween Man too. Yeah. So I was like, that's going to be hilarious. So I was actually really honored to be part of it. Cause I've known these guys for about something like 10 years now.
At least.
And, they put out nothing but awesome stuff. So I was like, I was glad to be a part of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So whose idea was it for the crossover? I know you had the Latex Avenger, you throwing the idea around, but then how did the crossover come about?
I mean, I think Drew really, we've known each other all about 10 years. We all did things we all did the Austin Nerd Cave showcase, and, and Paulo and I hung out at 24-hour comic days. And we just, different Staples shows and stuff like that. So we've all known each other for a long time. And I was sending Drew, because I just switched over to digital artwork, and was sending Drew artwork. Just, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And he mentioned the crossover then. I did several pages of it, but we ended up, canning that. And when he came back, after Bigfoot Knows Karate was, in motion, Drew said, "Hey, remember the script we did for this?" And I said, "Yeah." And it was a cool script because like Drew plotted it and wrote it, basically wrote the whole thing. And then I went in with an eraser and I erased, and went and rewrote all the Latex Avenger and Spermicidal Foam Lad dialogue. So they would speak like how they would normally speak. And his characters are written, just like, how, in their normal tone. So that's really fun. And Paulo just brings the humor in with the illustration. I mean, he really gets the exaggerations and all of that. And yeah, and Halloween Man's playing the straight man in this to Latex Avengers zany, he's Dean Martin to Latex Avengers Jerry Lewis. Like that dated the shit out of me. But anyway,
I appreciate the dated comedy reference.
Yeah, what's messed up is I think we all got the reference.
I think that's what I love about you most, Dan. I think in short, I basically nagged Dan until because I liked the script so much that even when he was, and again, rightfully so, focusing so heavily on Bigfoot, I just kept thinking like I really want to go back to this script because I just thought it was hilarious. And because Austin in particular has such a tight-knit indie comics community, I just also knew that there was going to be a lot of people that would get a kick out of it because both Dan and I we make a bit of a splash at the convention floor. And Dan, I tell you what, like the very first time I saw him at a con, he had Latex Avenger condoms he was giving out. Wow. That is a man that understands branding. Wow. Why would I not want to be working with someone like that? Yeah. Boom.
Yeah, I wonder how many babies came out of
that. That's crazy. These got me in so much trouble. Okay, I cannot believe some of the crap that I heard.
Could you imagine? Dude, we're going to use these tonight.
Oh, dude. Oh, my God. I had people pick one up on a Friday at a convention and thank me on a Saturday. I mean, yeah.
Oh, my God. All right, so let's talk about individual. So let's start with the Latex Avenger. Then I want to talk about the Halloween Man. But tell us what the premise. I mean, the Latex Avenger sounds hilarious. And we've had you on the show, Dan, and we talked about Bigfoot Knows Karate. But what is the Latex Avenger? Tell us a little bit about that world. What's that?
So, my first indie comic that I did, I was like 30, and it was it's Latex Avenger. He's got a sidekick named Spermicidal Foam Lad, and together they repel crime 99.9% of the time. It is in the modern lens, it's just a study of toxic masculinity, meets, just Family Guy humor turned up to 11 on steroids. It's ridiculous. I mean, it is ridiculous. When I first wrote the character back in 2007, the world was a very different place. And so the humor was just, it was in fashion at the time, but now it's like, he's the guy, Latex Avenger's the guy that you think would be a good idea to invite out for beers. And about 3 beers later, you're like, why the hell did we invite this asshole out with us? I mean, really is what it is. He's the embarrassing uncle at the cookout. He's that guy. And so you've got the dichotomy of Latex Avenger, the ribbed warrior of freedom, with his reservoir tip of justice or whatever it is. And, defending the town of Gedontopolis.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And, man. And he's got this sidekick, Spermicidal Foam Lad, Ruben Glickman. And Ruben is Ruben Glickman is this 12-year-old, he's got it right. He's got his head screwed on properly, but he lives with his grandparents, and Latex Avenger's pretty much got like no job. So in canon, he actually lives with the grandparents. They got bunk beds. And so it's you've got characters like Sexy Nurse America and Manibus, the kaiju pot monster, and Kosher the pig, and the list goes on. And so I did one issue. I put it away. Came back a couple of years later and said I really want to keep doing this, and I did about 7 or 8 issues of Latex Avenger, and then a publisher came along that liked it but said you got to get rid of the Reservoir Tip, and you got to change his name, and you got to get rid of Sperm Lightning and all this stuff. And I said, absolutely not.
I like it, but give me a different concept.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I did. So I said, I'm not doing any of that, but I have this project called Masters of the Obvious. And it was a sci-fi space parody. You had Dr. Biclops. He has 2 eyes, the visible woman. You can't miss her. You get the idea. And rolled into that. So, and now here we are, like about 9 years later, 8 years later, and Latex Avenger gets to live and breathe in the pages in a completely different light, because it's like, I think the story is amazing. I think Drew did a great job with the plot, and that, you know, and I like just the fact that Dr. Lucy Chaplin, Science Starlight, knows how to put up with his bullshit, and it works really well. I like it.
And so now, Drew, so now I was reading through some of the stuff you sent us, and you know, Halloween Man. Tell us a little bit about Halloween Man, because I'm like, okay, where do these two meet? Like that, and that's what I'm interested in also. But go ahead, let's talk a little bit about Halloween Man.
So my elevator pitch for Halloween Man is always this. It's the weird adventures of a zombie superhero and his sexy mad scientist girlfriend as they fight everything from vampire, dinosaurs, space dwarves, the Invisible Man, the Loch Ness Monster, etc., etc., etc. It's basically picture Fantastic Four meets Evil Dead. It's got a strong Silver Age aesthetic, bumping right up against splatter punk horror from the 80s. He eats his bad guys. He's got the power of the horror movie sequel. Lucy Chaplin is his girlfriend. She is a polymath genius, pinup model, champion powerlifter, fashion guru, occult expert, and billionaire philanthropist. And so she's good at everything. She's kind of a Doc Savage type. And they fight monsters. They have weird characters they team up with, like Man Goat, who has the power of a man-sized goat. You know, it's you know, the comic started out very much like Latex and Avenger in that it was more of a spoof, you know, as I've done it over, you know, because it's been around now for 22 years. It's evolved into being slightly more dramatic, and that's part of what intrigued me about putting these characters together, because that's sort of oil and water chemistry of it. As far as how they meet, this is a very old school crossover. Like about 10 years ago, I did a crossover with Hack Slash, which is a fairly popular book that Tim Seeley does through Image Comics. And in that one, I did the whole thing with characters hopping across from dimension to dimension and, you know, all that, you know, fun stuff. But this time around, we did it very much like Superman meets Spider-Man, like the original crossover, and that Latex Avenger just kind of walks into a Halloween Man story. Lucy and Solomon are investigating a haunting in a coffee house, and Latex Avenger and Ruben go to get some lattes, and because it starts pouring down rain, and wackiness ensues.
And that's it. So wait, okay, so now you guys obviously wrote this together, and now you send this over to Paulo. And how long does it take you to put a page together after you stop laughing? Like, what happens? How does your process begin from there?
Oh, I read the script. I was laughing my butt off, and I was just thinking of all the things that I'm going to get to draw in this. And but yeah, then I started with SketchUps of the characters, of how they're going to be looking in the comic, just to get approval. And after I got the approval of the characters, and then I started working on pages.
That's awesome. See, and you said something really important. I think, Sam, we've struggled with this. Whenever you send out your characters to be drawn by somebody else, is the likeness of those characters and staying true to what those characters look like, even if it's in your own style. Right. How, like, do you feel like the guys gave you enough kind of freedom to do that, or were you kind of like sticking to what was, you know, given to you?
You know, what's funny is that Dan told me, do whatever you want to him. I don't care. And I was like, all right. So I kind of drew him sort of the way I envisioned him when I would read the comics in my head. And so he really liked it. So I think I knocked it out of the park with that one.
Oh yeah, no, you killed it, dude. I'm real liberal about that stuff, man. Just have fun with the character. So
yeah,
and
what was the only what was the only thing I told you to change about about Lucy?
Yeah, the only thing he asked me every time I would show him pictures of Lucy, he'd be like, "Can you make the boobs bigger? Can you just make them bigger?"
I think
he did that like two or three times.
I have a problem. Other than that, I did basically just let him kind of come up with his interpretations, because I think you have to do that. Like I when you're a writer and you're working with artists, part of the magic of comics is seeing how these different talented people interpret your characters.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true, man.
Oh, I was gonna say that I also had to take really good care of the characters, because these are characters that they came up with. That's like I always thought that when somebody creates these characters, it's a part of them. Yeah. They wrote it for a reason. They put these things to paper for a reason. And so I did, as well as having fun with drawing them, I did take time to like put in little details that I know that they put in for those characters, and made sure that those main aspects were in those characters.
Yeah. I think what makes the difference is when all parties involved have a mutual respect for the project and truly love it. And then, so when it comes to like you being able to do what you do best, and having the creative liberty to just have fun, I think that's just then what happens is that artist, knowing that, wow, I have carte blanche, well, I'm going to make sure that I take care of this. So I think there's like a subconscious decision that's made when you love it, and then you have the freedom to play. Then the canvas, you can paint any picture you want.
Yeah. Right. And to your point, Sam, I think respect is important, and not just for the project, but for each other. Like, you guys have to respect each other as writers and artists and stuff. And when there's that, forget it, man. The sky's the limit. You know what I mean? Like at that point,
we have to respect each other too.
Damn.
I mean, no. Listen. In all fairness, though, that's for sure amongst this group. I mean, as far as like, Paulo respecting the characters in terms of the artwork and all of that, I mean, absolutely. He even, my creative partner on Latex Avenger for several years, Bon Adami, passed away a few years back. And Paulo actually drew Bon into the comic on the second page. So, I mean, and just, it's just been, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, cause we're working with our friends, I mean, it's a different thing because we've known each other for so damn long, and we've worked together on a previous issue of Halloween Man, in which I'm really grateful for, because honestly that helped kind of put my style together for what I'm doing with Bigfoot. So and Drew was really kind to all of us when we were working on that, to give us the freedom to do what we wanted to do with his character. So I mean, it's been really nice working with my buddies on this. It really has.
So this crossover is happening. How far along are you guys in the process of completing the book, the production of the book? Where are we with with pages? How long is this thing?
We're pretty far along on it. Like Paulo is more or less done with his part of things. We've now passed it on to a colorist named April Guadiana, who is also my art director on Halloween Man. And, we're going to probably have it done and ready for print, I would assume by mid-July at the rate things are going. I mean, I hope I didn't just jinx myself, knock on wood, but
it'll be done before the campaign's over. We'll just say that.
It's because, the comics, there's always things that can crop up, but, it's going to have a good solid 15, 16 pages of story. And then we're going to throw in a lot of cool, pinups and stuff in the back. And we're actually going to have Dan's, the original pages that Dan did for his version in the back as well. So people can kind of take a look at where this started and also can compare and contrast to the different art styles between Paulo and Dan, which I think is something that's cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Paulo wins. So,
but it's not a race.
It's not a competition, kids. We're all for Halloween, man.
We're down. Yeah. Now, when are you guys aiming to get this campaign going? And can you tell us a little bit about what we're planning and what crowdfunding platform?
So it's going to be live on July 6th. We're going to be using Indiegogo because it's going to be through my crowdfunding profile, and that's what I've used the most. I've never dipped my toes into the Kickstarter well. I might finally do that next year. But it's going to be a fun campaign. We're going to have a lot of cool perks, and we're going to really push it as hard as we can. And this is also your chance, if you're not familiar with either Halloween Man or Latex Avenger, we're going to have ways that you get the older comics as perks through the campaign. So you can bulk up your indie comics library while you're at it.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
Mm-hmm. Nice. That's pretty dope.
Thank you. Oh, I thought Sam had something else, but yeah, no. So July. I was like, so July 6th. It's going to be a 30-day campaign. I'm assuming you guys are going.
That's going to be about 6 weeks.
Okay, and then I think Indiegogo does that on demand thing. So are you guys planning on doing that kind of stuff where it stays on demand?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Big yes.
Yeah. No. That's the way to do it, man. That's the way to do it. And then Dan, we're gonna close out a little bit with what you guys have going on in the future for yourselves. I know Bigfoot Knows Karate is coming, so tell us a little bit about when do you think that will be coming out as well.
Bigfoot Knows Karate Chapter 2, Born Under a Bad Sign, will be hitting Kickstarter in October of this year. So I know it's a bit of a ways between issues, but I'm slow. But I do. Casey and I are going to make it worth your while. If you like the first book, definitely pick up issue 2. If you didn't read the first book, we'll have issue 1 available in the campaign, along with some other very cool things. I'm trying to get an art book together, a Bigfoot Knows Karate art book together. That if I can make it work, I'd like to do a charity thing with that, where the profits go to charity. But I'm having a hard time working with the charity right now, making that happen. So bear with me. Hopefully one day I'll be able to get that art book together, because we've had so many amazing artists who have worked on, who've done fan art for Bigfoot Knows Karate, and I'd love to get more of that out there for people. But Chapter 2, Born Under a Bad Sign, October on Kickstarter. If you want to check out Bigfoot Knows Karate currently, check out bigfootknowskarate.com. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter at Danomite139. That's DANOMYTE 139. Thank you, George. Thank you, Sam, for having us on tonight. So
yeah, you guys are great. And so, Drew, what do you got coming up other than obviously the crowdfunding campaign and Indiegogo for the crossover? But what else? Where can they find you? Give us a little more details.
Well, I have a lot of stuff right now that I unfortunately have to keep tight-lipped about, but there's some interesting things happening behind the scenes with all the Halloween Man comic books. There's more directly on Comixology, Halloween Man 28 is about to come out. That's the second part of our Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story. I'm trying to hit up all the classic monsters at some point throughout the history of the book. So I finally got around to doing Mr. Hyde, and I think we came up with a very fun version of the character. And as far as where you can find me, if you want to tell me that you think I'm a prick, you can do that by finding me on Twitter. That's Halloween Man Com, all one word, all lowercase. If you just want to look at pretty pictures, either comic pages or pictures of my beautiful, charming wife, you can find me on Instagram That's Drew_Halloween. I also post memes if that's your kind of thing.
Nice, nice. And so, Paolo, what do you have going on other than working with these incredibly funny, talented, goofy writers and slash artists over here? What do you have? What do you got going on?
Well, after this, I have something else going on right now that I may not be able to talk about yet. But after this book and the other project that I'm working on, I'm actually going to be thinking about doing a project of my own, a comic of my own, which I co-wrote with Dan, actually. And we wrote it a while back. And I was thinking that I have to bring it to fruition. And so that's going to be my next project. And basically, it's I don't know if you've ever seen Alien Nation, old TV show. I love the whole aspect of detective drama mixed with sci-fi aspects, and so it's a little bit of that, but with like souls. I don't know. That's about it.
All right.
So it's really hard to like sum up. I have to make up a summary of it. But
listen, I wasn't expecting souls. I'll tell you that much. So that was good. That was a nice little twist.
Yeah. Any conventions for you guys?
Yeah.
Well, Dan and I are going to be at Baltimore together.
Nice.
But before that, I'm going to be at Anime Fest in Dallas in just a few weeks. And I know you're doing Comic Palooza, right, Dan?
I'm doing Comic Palooza. Yeah. Have a good time at Fan Expo this weekend, Sam. Let me know how that goes, dude.
I'm still packing.
Yeah, right. No, I just got back from Awesome Con in DC, Comic Palooza next month, and then Baltimore. Not too much, kind of laying low a little bit, actually. Paula, what about you, bud?
Yeah, what do you got?
I don't got nothing coming. I'm unfortunately like I'm too busy with projects and working on stuff that I can't really go and do anything. But I'm also spending time with my daughter because I have her during the summer. So I'm doing a little of that too.
There you go.
Yeah.
Doing dad things. That's awesome. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Listen, guys, you guys have been amazing, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
We'd love to have you guys, even if it's individually. Once you guys can speak on more of the projects that you guys coming on. If you guys want to come on and promote them, hey, the door is always open.
It's a date.
Cool. All right. Okay. That's 2:30. We will talk to you guys soon, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Sam. You all have a great night.
Yeah, you too.
Awesome group of guys.
Yes. So that was the squad, and they got some hilarious stuff coming down the pike. Pretty dope. So when the link is posted, did they have the landing page up?
I don't know. I don't think so.
If they have the landing page, when we post this episode, I'll have the links on the bottom to make sure that anybody who wants to sign up for the campaigns can sign up. And then we'll have the links for all their websites. We can direct traffic there.
That's right. Oh, you busy. Yeah, no, that was a good show. Dan Price has a very, very good book called Bigfoot Knows Karate. You guys got to check that out. First time we meet Drew and Paolo, they look like a really, really fun group of guys. I'd love to catch them at a convention and just hang out with them. Mm-hmm. They sound like they have a lot of fun. So yeah, that was fun, man. That was a good show. Glad the guys came
really
on.
Good show. I enjoyed it. Yeah. So again, if you like this episode, please leave a comment below. If you have a question for any of the guests that were on the show, put the comments below as well. Check out their websites, check out the landing pages, feedback for us. Give us a thumbs up if you're digging this so far. Have you subscribed yet? You've been watching in incognito. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Let the world know. When we grow, the indie community grows. That's and don't forget, there's Nailed in My Toilet. We're on the final home stretch within the last week. Sign up. Actually, pledge. Get yourself a copy of There's Nailed in My Toilet. And if you don't want a copy for yourself, get a couple of 6 copies for Comic Book for Kids. It's a great organization, and 6 books goes to kids in hospitals that are dealing with cancer. Hey, not right now. So that's a great part of it. If you like shirts, we got coloring books, we got guidebooks, we got stickers, we got magnets, we got them all. So check it out. The Nail in My Toilet. Do Darius Uranius. He's hilarious. Don't let this guy come after you because he's ready. He's ready. He's packing. He's ready. So, yeah. So that's it for me.
That's it. That's it. Make sure you guys, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you subscribe, and then just be looking out for some of these packages that are coming in from this Inanely My Toilet. Some of you are going to have those golden tickets. So remember that for those who do have them in your pledges.
He meant to say Wonder Duck.
What did I say? There's an alien? Oh, the Adventures of Wonder Duck. Don't forget, you guys are getting your packages soon, and there will be a golden ticket in it. So make sure that you check it out. Take a photo with it. Let me know you got it. And let me know what you think of the book once you get it. Yes. So that is all, Sammy.
Yeah, with that said, thank you for watching. I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera.
George the Dreamer Medina.
And we out.
It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy.
Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh,
He described me. He said, I'm the
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
Candy girl.